In this week's Sunday School, we covered the context, structure, and first part of Psalm 5. However, due to time, the latter will be reserved for next week's update. The overall context is still Absalom's rebellion. David is hiding from his son, and he's taking refuge in prayer to the only one who can deliver him. David is seeking righteousness because it is the only way he can have communion with God. He longs for the comfort that only his God can give, and he desires to know if he is in God's will, seeking to remove wickedness from his life. Overall, David is looking to God, and all things are falling into the reoccurring theme that whatever David asks is for God's glory, in that the Lord is the beneficiary of David's prayers because he is asking in God's will. The overall structure is a chiasm built on 4 parts. The corresponding verses are 1 through 3 with 11 through 12, 4 through 5 with 10, 6 with 9, and 7 with 8. Corresponding with this overall chiastic structure of David's prayer are 2 major concerns given with 2 contrasts, a theological and a practical contrast. The theological contrast is one of retribution and reconciliation. Verses 1 through 3 is the full expression of David's prayer for intervention, pouring out to God his desire for righteousness. Verses 4 through 8 is the explanation of this expression, delineating God's absolute disdain for wickedness. The practical contrast is one of the wayward and the worshipful. The first part of verse 10 is the expression of David's prayer of imprecation, requesting the destruction of the wicked. And the second part of verse 10 through verse 12 is the explanation of this expressed imprecation, declaring God's protection of the righteous. Once again, we see that the key takeaway is the fact that we can take refuge in prayer. However, we also are reminded that unrepentant sin breaks communion with God. Like David, we need to seek after righteousness, pleading with the Lord for cleansing and reconciliation, and remembering that the Lord never tires of our oft-repeated prayers of increased righteousness. So seek the Lord and go read the Psalms.